Hello? Okay, that's good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pitch Palace ASEAN. Your Royal Highness, the Duke of York, Your Royal Highness, Tunku Amir Shah from Selangor, Your Excellency, Minister of Industry, Kun Surya Jagrungrit, distinguished guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here to welcome all of you. And we are definitely very delighted to have such an interesting and diverse crowd. We made history today in ASEAN because we are doing Pitch Palace ASEAN for the first time in Thailand. And we're very pleased to have 17 entrepreneurs from all over ASEAN. And each of the 10 ASEAN countries are represented today, and they will be pitching their ideas to you. This is such a momentous situation for us because it's all happening during the ASEAN summit. I do know quite a number of you have already got previous engagements with the ASEAN summit, and we are very pleased and delighted you actually took the time to come and join us here. So without further ado, I'm going to invite His Excellency Minister Surya to come say a few words to you. Thank you.
Your Royal Highness, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, on behalf of the Royal Thai government, I would like to request for this opportunity to extend our warmest welcome to Your Royal Highness to the Kingdom of Thailand. It is indeed Thailand's great honor and privilege to have Pitch Palace ASEAN in Bangkok, presided over by Your Royal Highness and organized by the Global Entrepreneurship Network in collaboration with the Buckingham Palace, London on the 3rd and 4th of November 2019. Pitch Palace is a very important initiative that helps and supports SME and startup of every member country in every direction. It generates business growth for startups, reduces the gap between the rich and the poor, and creates efficient network among all parties concerned. I wish to extend our highest appreciation to Your Royal Highness engagement with a broad range of organizations to facilitate growth of smaller entrepreneurial ventures and companies. With the same vision, Thailand also places great importance on SME and startup. We have initiated an innovative project called InnoSpace Thailand, which aims to bridge startup, investors, and enterprises locally and internationally. InnoSpace Thailand is currently one of the largest startup development platforms that involves public and private sector, including universities, research center, technology and innovation center, and financial institutions to support young entrepreneurs. We have cooperated and exchanged our experience with several countries such as Japan, Hong Kong, and Israel. We wish to extend collaboration with the United Kingdom, which is one of the most advanced countries in terms of startup development, and in particular, with the remarkable initiative of Your Royal Highness. On behalf of the Royal Thai government, I would like to extend my best wishes to Pitch Palace ASEAN in Bangkok. I am certain that it will be a great success and a promising platform where a fruitful collaboration between the United Kingdom and the Kingdom of Thailand can develop. Please kindly accept, Your Royal Highness, the assurances of our highest consideration.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. Suriya, for your keynote speech. At this time, we would like to welcome His Royal Highness Duke of York, the founder of Pitch Palace program, to say a few words, please.
Your Highness, Minister, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pitch Palace ASEAN. And this is actually 2.0 because we've done it elsewhere, but this is the first time in Thailand, and it's a great pleasure to be here. So thank you very much indeed for the welcome that I have received. Pitch Palace is a network and a clan of now over 1,000 entrepreneurs that work together in order to help each other and expand their ideas and businesses around the world. If we come down to what we are going to do this evening, we are going to hear from 17 new and interesting businesses from around the ASEAN countries. And I want you to think about this in a particular way. We are all in this room this evening in order to work together as a collaborative group to find ways where we can enhance the opportunities for these 17 businesses to grow. And there are a number of ways in which I would suggest that this can happen. One of them is that you may wish to want to mentor these businesses and these entrepreneurs. You may not want to do that, but you may know somebody else who could or would want to do so. If you think that, then please tell them. Not immediately, but you can do that through the app, or you can go and see them afterwards at the networking session. You can also think of whether or not they need advisors. Now, advisors are what I would describe as slightly more professional people. So your bankers, your accountants, your management consultants, people that can help these businesses get their business processing correct. The time that I've been doing this, the last 6 years, what we've discovered is that many of these ideas are absolutely outstanding. But sometimes they get disrupted because somebody else has a better idea. Not a problem. Where I get a little bit more anxious is when the business either doesn't work or fails because its business processing is incorrect. And there's really no reason why we shouldn't be in a position to be able to add people and knowledge to these entrepreneurs so that they don't make those mistakes. Another couple of areas where you might well think about helping these businesses this afternoon is you've probably got either your own supply chain or your own distribution system, or you know somebody else who has a distribution system or a supply chain. Then we need to know that, and these entrepreneurs need to know that, because if they can get into somebody's supply chain or they can use somebody's distribution system for their product or service, it means that they will begin to earn revenue. And earning revenue is half the battle for these new businesses. And probably the most important thing that you can do this afternoon or this evening is to think about, when you're sitting there, you're going to have what I would describe as that aha moment. And that aha moment is when, because you're listening to these entrepreneurs, you'll suddenly go, oh, but that's easy. I know exactly who I need to put them in touch with. Make that connection for these people, because you have no idea the consequences, the positive consequences those connections make. It's a little bit like the butterfly beating its wings principle. If a butterfly beats its wings in one part of the world, you may find a gale somewhere else. The point being is that you just simply don't know what is going to come from that, and it just grows. So if you can make a connection for these businesses, again, please tell them. It'll make a huge difference. One other thing that is axiomatic with an event like this is that all these businesses will be looking for some form of investment. We aren't actually looking to have any of you make an instantaneous decision this evening about whether or not to invest. What we would like to see you do is, if you are interested in working with these businesses, is to start that conversation, because these entrepreneurs, you have to know something about the person that is behind the business. Very few of these businesses have got any track record that what I would describe as a conventional investment process would have any idea about. So you've got to think about it like that. So the investment thing is something that happens in the longer term. So you're all here, and it's great to see you, but this is about what you can do for the guys and girls that are going to be standing up here. Now, each and every one of those entrepreneurs is probably quite nervous at the moment, especially the first one. They've all been told that they must have an ask of the audience. Remember, this is a communications exercise for these people. It is about them telling you, because you probably don't know anything about their businesses. But they will have an ask. And hopefully that will either spark an idea or a thought, and then you might be in a position to be able to execute on that ask. But again, you may also, just from listening to them, go, oh, well, I know exactly what that's about. I know exactly what that business does, and I know exactly who they need to be put in touch with. I come back to the point. Connections make the difference. So enjoy it. Make the most of it. I saw these businesses and entrepreneurs yesterday. I was very impressed with them. I hope that you will be impressed with them. And I wish not only them every success, but you've got some work to do. And if you've brought a pen and paper with you, because you're going to have to keep notes, this is like going back to school for some of you, or university anyway. So you're not just here to listen, you're actually here to do something and contribute, because all of us are in this room, all of us can make a difference to these businesses, and that's all I'm asking. Have a good evening. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Your Highness, Your Royal Highness, for your inspiration for all of us to actually support the entrepreneurs here. But before we actually hear from our entrepreneurs, we would like to invite Tan Sri Anthony Fernandez, the Group CEO of AirAsia Berhad, to deliver his thoughts, please.
Your Royal Highness, Duke of York, Minister Surya, and all the distinguished guests. Thank you for inviting me to say a few words. I didn't think I was going to speak after Your Highness, so I thought I was led off. Also, apologies for being a bit late. Not AirAsia's fault. But this is an enormous shopping complex, and I got a little bit lost. But I just want to say a few words. Firstly, I'm thrilled at being involved with the pitch. It's amazing how many entrepreneurs have come through this and how many I've seen and how many I've got involved with. And some have grown into huge companies, and I know there's a unicorn coming. I think pitch gives a huge, huge boost to these young entrepreneurs. And I know what it was like when I started AirAsia 18 years ago. I didn't have pitch, and no one really believed in what we wanted to do. In those 18 years, we've gone from 2 planes to now 275 planes, and I dare say there'll be many, many successful companies. I also want to just say a few words on the Duke, who I think puts in so much effort and so much passion into this. It is really not an easy task going around the world helping entrepreneurs, motivating them, and giving them tremendous amounts of support. And I really have seen the enormous hard work that he puts in to all these young entrepreneurs. And so, ladies and gentlemen, can you please give him a round of applause for the amazing efforts that he puts in. The Duke actually had got me involved in Formula One, which almost bankrupted me. But I still love him. And I also know how we got to know each other, actually, was his tremendous efforts in getting us to buy Rolls-Royce engines about 12 years ago when he was trade representative. Again, I think the UK are incredibly lucky to have such a fantastic ambassador who works so hard. Sometimes those amazing efforts are never recorded, but I, as someone who's seen both his amazing work at the pitch and his amazing work in promoting Britain. But really at pitch, I think he's excelled himself. And it's a thrill that it's not just English young companies he's helping, but companies from all over the world. Of course, ASEAN is incredibly dear to me, and I'm a huge believer in it. And I believe that if we all work together and these young entrepreneurs have a much larger market to go to than their own country, we have 700 million people. So pitch at the Palace for ASEAN is incredibly important. So thank you very much for listening to me. You didn't have a choice. But more importantly, please fly on AirAsia from now on. Thank you very much, and good luck to all the emerging companies.
Right. Thank you very much, Tan Sri Fernandez. And now we're getting to the very exciting time. We actually have more than 70 entrants into Pitch Palace ASEAN. And we actually have been working quite hard yesterday at ASEAN. And I think some of the elevators are here to hear your entrepreneurs after you have worked with him or her for the past 24 hours. Let me go through a little bit of how we will conduct our pitches tonight. First of all, for the entrepreneurs, your pitches will be 3 minutes long, right? And you would have to make your ask very clear. At the end of 3 minutes, if you actually don't finish your pitch, you will hear the trumpet, right? From the Thai youth brass, and the sound would, right, your alarm would sound like this. Okay, 3 minutes up. The trumpet, please. Right, so that means the pitch has to stop. Thank you. And after the pitch finishes, then I would ask one question just to help clarify for the audience. And then we'll go to the next one. For you, the audience, first of all, you have all the full details of each entrepreneur in your program book so that you can take notes, as the Duke has suggested to you. And you should also have your Pitch Palace mobile application ready, because after hearing from all the 17 pitches, you have to vote for the top 3 preferences, right? And you would actually have very short time to vote, so you better get familiar with your mobile application. Now, a little bit about the mobile application. You would use them tonight to vote, but actually they have more functions than that. They can help keep you connected to the Pitch Palace program globally. You can actually connect yourself to the entrepreneurs as well as the alumni of the program. You can also look at the calendar of the events, as well as have messaging function to talk to anyone in the network. Just a little bit to display the functions. May we have the video for the application, please? Okay, so I hope you have your app up and prepared to be taking notes. So the first entrepreneur out of the 17 entrepreneurs from all the 10 ASEAN countries is from the robotic, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality category. The company name is called Somin from Singapore, and may I invite Hendrik Schwartz to present his idea, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Hendrik Schwartz, and I'm the co-founder of Somin.ai from Singapore. We make social media advertising 30% more cost efficient. Can I show a show of hands who's on social media in this room? Who advertises on social media? Okay, quite a few. It's a big market opportunity for us, as you can see on the slides. It's 25 billion USD in Asia and projected to grow by 25% over the next 3 years. Our opportunity might be a problem for you. Unfortunately, as you see in the next quarter there, many social media platforms have decided to reduce their organic reach. This is Pictet, the biggest social media player in the field. They have reduced their organic reach by 99% over the last 8 years. For advertisers, it's obviously bad news. It means your performance goes down and your media spend goes up. And you're up against quasi-monopolistic companies that have their algorithms as closely guarded secrets. Human intuition and creativity of your marketing department or your creative people are not going to cut through this massive social media data. Basically, you need help. You need an AI-powered help. We want to be that help. Somin.ai, with the help of psychographics and big data, we're able to cut through the social media clutter, and we're able to help make your social media advertising performing and relevant. Let me show you how we do this. Basically, what we do when we work with customers, we look at their social media feed as well as the social media feeds of their competitors. An example here in Thailand is McDonald's in Thailand, where we looked at Burger King, KFC, Pizza Hut, and many other companies, and obviously also McDonald's is represented in this picture. We run analysis not only on one picture, but millions of pictures, where we can identify objects, interests, colors, many things. All this data will be analyzed by the help of our own proprietary AI and machine learning, and then transformed into a custom-made data universe. From this data universe, you will get 4 insights. Number 1, you will get competitor insights. You know what's going on in your space, who is advertising what. Number 2, we will give you content insights. So we will be able to advise you on colors, on content before you post it and make it very successful. Number 3, audience insights. For our partners, we deliver hundreds of micro audiences that perform very cost efficiently. To give you an example for McDonald's in Thailand, just for Bangkok alone, in the last campaign, we did 150 micro audiences. And last but not least, we can also find you micro influencers in this data universe that are very cost efficient and relevant. All of the above combined will lead to a conservatively 30% increase in advertising revenue. The picture that comes to mind, we are a super powerful, strong magnet that finds you relevant insights in your social media haystack. And one more thing. Let Somin be the trumpet that blasts your message out into the social media world. Thank you very much.
Right, so that's Somin and Hendrik, right? So one question for you, Hendrik. You know, your service sounds wonderful,
Yes.
but what's your ask?
What's my ask? Yeah, you didn't have time for that. So my ask is, if you run a business that is, so we're best suited for B2C. If you run a business that does B2C advertising of more than $10,000 per month, please introduce me to your CMO.
Very clear ask. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Right. So that's the only entrant from the robotics, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality. The next category is the agriculture, energy, and renewables technology, and we have 4 entrants from there. The first one, 8 villages from Indonesia. May I introduce Sani Gaddafi, please?
So agriculture has contributed 13% of the total GDP of Indonesia, but there are still 30% of the total population in Indonesia are smallholder farmers with low income earnings. This is because farmers are everywhere, they are very scattered, and there's no information that manage well. And in average, there are 8 layers in the agriculture value chains, and each layer adding costs. So the price in the farmer side is very low, and then the price in the customer side very high. My name is Sani Gaddafi. I'm the founder of 8 Villages, a technology company that focuses on accelerating village modernization, especially for farmers. The way that we do is, 1, we connect farmers to information. So farmers can interact, engage with each other. Farmers also can get access to experts to help them. Farmers also can get information about increasing their productivity. And also farmers can get information about market price. So it allows them to negotiate better. Second, we connect them to the market. Using our platform, now farmers also can sell directly to the end consumer in C2C model and B2B model. The third, we connect farmers to logistics. From our logistic platform, farmers now can involve more in the value chain, so it improves the cost of the logistic. Not only that, it's also improved the traceability and the transparency of the process. So far, we have reached more than 5,700 farmers that already making direct transaction in our platform, and in total for the transaction is around $100,000 in a month. And most important one is it's already helping increase their income up until 22 times. So the ask that we want is, 1, beside the funding for us to grow and innovate more, so we can give more impact for farmers, we're also looking for partners that can help us to export farmers' product to the UK, like Tesco or Sainsbury. And not only that, it can help farmers get a much better revenue, and also can give the partner a more fresher product and also traceable product, as in the consumer are buying directly from the farmers in Indonesia. And the last one for Mr. Tony Fernandez, let's create a campaign called From Farm to Into the Sky, Becoming Reality. Thank you.
Right, Sunny, you actually haven't used up your 3 minutes, but I would ask you a question anyway. So, the platform sounds wonderful, but I think the challenge is probably around the adoption, right? Both from the farmer side as well as the potential customers. What's your plan about trying to get people to understand your platform and adopt it?
Yeah, so our company started since 2012, so we know better on those kind of situation. So we have two platform. One is the data collection platform, and the other one is the community platform. So the data collection platform is for us to get information from the farmers that they don't have the smartphone. So we go on the ground, we collect their data, see what are their activity, and make a business insight on top of those information. For the one that already have Android, we invite them to join to our community and interact directly to the system.
I hope Mr. Fernandez is convinced.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Right. The next entrant in the agriculture, energy, and renewable technology is Gao Rai. May I introduce Matas Daniel Levius from Thailand. Please.
Hello, everyone. It's a big pleasure to be here today. My name is Matas, and I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Gao Rai. Gao Rai is an agri-tech platform connecting freelance drone pilots directly to the farmers. By 2050, we will have 10 billion people to feed. It means that our current agriculture and our systems needs to provide at least 50% more yield than we do right now. On top of that, we also have issues with climate change and rapid urbanization. No one wants to work in the field anymore, and we can't blame the people. Here in Southeast Asia, we have plus 40 degrees every day, and no one wants to walk with a backpack full of pesticides and chemicals while spraying it all around themselves and inhaling that as well. So that also leads to another issue, health issue. There are around 40,000 people each year in Thailand affected directly by the chemicals created diseases. So luckily, there is technology already available in the market. Here you can see a huge agricultural drone who can do the same job much faster, more efficiently, using less water, less pesticides, and in any way better than current manual labor. Yet, this technology is quite expensive, so small and medium-scale farmers would not be able to afford that themselves. That's why we created Gao Rai platform, which would allow any type, size of farmer to reach out to the freelance drone pilot. In this way, farmer can also create his profile, and we would gather vital data that would help to improve farming in general. So with that data, we could provide extra services such as insurance and microfinance for small and medium-scale farmers. No one before had that data, so it's a huge opportunity for us. On the other side, we have pilots, which is an opportunity to create more Industry 4.0 jobs. Currently, pilots through our system could make up to $5,000 per month by spraying the field. So our mission is to improve overall farming and agriculture in Thailand and the region. And we plan to connect farmers directly to pilots, allowing us to empower families and farmers in all the rural areas. And we have an issue. Marketing for these people is quite complicated. Usually it's word of mouth, so it means that spread of the technology is quite slow. We need help. We need help to reach out to co-ops. We need to help to reach out to influencers who would help to spread the word about available technology in any way in rural areas. And that leads to our ask. We find one person who has been doing a great job here in Thailand. It's Her Grace Royal Princess Ubon Ratana and her organization B number 1. Thank you.
Right, Matas. So my question to you is around your experience in implementing this. Have you done any pilot test or any kind of campaign to actually launch this into reality?
That's a great question, and I have an answer for that. We've been collaborating with drone pilot schools here in Thailand. So this technology is already accessible, and we also collaborate with drone distributors here in Thailand. So we have the quick access of newly built pilots, and we are building this solution together in partnership with them. So we collaborate and talk with farmers and pilots that help us to improve our UX and UI of the whole system. So our market validation is actual physical work with farmers and already providing the service manually.
Right, and what's the feedback? It's good?
It's great, especially from pilots. They can't find they can't wait for more opportunities for them to get the job. The biggest pain point is calling to farmers all the time. Instead of doing that, they could spray, because spray brings them a lot of money. I can't blame them. So yeah, they're happy.
Great, great to hear that. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next entrant, also from Thailand, gets track. May I introduce Benjamin Tenburen, please.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Tenburen, the co-founder of GuestTrack, an agricultural machinery sharing service. GuestTrack is an application that connects farmers that need to book machine with machine owners that has access capacity. Imagine Uber, but for service like plowing, planting, and harvesting. On one hand, we solve the problem of machinery for farmers. As you may know, Thailand is one of the world's leading rice exporter, valued up to $5.6 billion in 2019. But yet, Thai farmers still have struggling with minimal income. One of the reasons for this is access to machinery, as 90% of Thai farmers do not own any machine and relying on hired machine along with the driver. When harvesting season comes, it's often hard for farmers to find a machine to work on their farm, leading them to wait in queue, not meeting the best harvest date, losing the yield, and losing their income. On the other hand, we help the machine owner find more jobs, as machine owners are not familiar with finding new farmers out of their territory. As you may imagine, in rural Thailand, machines are very expensive for them to finance. So, in order to be able to pay the service debt, maximization of the machine they have is very important. Another problem we address is trustworthiness, as machine owners are reluctant to find new customers that they are unfamiliar with because they don't know if they can trust them to be paying for the job after the job is done. And sometimes if they trust the wrong people, they might not get paid at all. So GuestTrack works to solve this problem. We have two applications, one for farmers and one for machine owners. The farmers will book the request through the farmer's app, and then we will send it to the machine owner's app to see who is interested in the job and available for it. When the work is done, we would pay the machine owners within 24 hours with taking 10% of commission cut. After the machine owner got paid, the farmers will have a credit for up to 14 days to pay us back. So making it a very low risk for them to use our platform. But for us, we are talking with banks to support provisional credit for farmers. So you can see GuestTrack is solving the problem for both parties with a transparent standard pricing and a secure payment system. We are already working with 6,000 farmers in central and northeastern Thailand. And our goal is to help farmers across Thailand and hopefully ASEAN. We are also aiming to expand to other services that have a similar behavior. Of course, we are interested in funding opportunities, but for today, we would like to be connected to the Ministry of Agriculture to get our app to connect with the most farmers as we can and help to find the best machine they need. There is no better time than now to help the agricultural sector help the people who feed us have a better and easier life. Thank you very much.
So my question to you would be, if you succeed in Thailand, where else would you want to go next, like the next country?
So that's a very good question. So countries in Southeast Asia usually have quite a similar behavior of hiring machine services. So we would focus on Cambodia, Vietnam, to be the
just one?
Cambodia to be the first target for
And
us.
why would that be?
Because actually when we first got the idea, we saw the struggle in Cambodia, and then we come to Thailand and say, oh, Thailand has the same problem as well. So it's one of the best places to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last entrepreneur in the agriculture, energy, and renewable technology category is Camerio from Vietnam. May I introduce Tuku Tanaka, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Taku from Camereo. I'm the CEO and co-founder. I provide parsing and sourcing platform for restaurants. It enables restaurants to simplify placing orders to a bunch of suppliers rather than sending a bunch of email and SMS and phone call. With the data and volume which we accumulated in the system, we solved the big problem of vegetable supply chain for restaurants in Vietnam. I used to run restaurant business for 3 years in Vietnam, and I realized there is a big problem for vegetable purchasing. So what is the problem? For restaurant side, restaurants usually see the price for vegetable changing every day. They don't know where the vegetable originally coming from. And the price is relatively expensive because they just buy from supermarket and web market, which is same as B2C channel. There is also a problem for farmers as well. Farmer doesn't know how much they have to farm and harvest, and their price they are setting is super cheap. So why it happened? So there are 3 middlemen between farmers and restaurant. Each player in supply chain do their own delivery, so it makes a lot of food loss. To cover food loss, they put a lot of margin. It makes at end the price for restaurant is 2 to 3 times compared to what farmers sell. So why restaurant don't buy from the restaurant from the farmer directly? Because each restaurant purchasing volume is pretty small. It's impossible for them to buy directly from farmers. That's why we started purchasing platform where we can accumulate a lot of data and purchasing volume, which enable us to talk to farmers for restaurants directly. With the tons of data we accumulated, we fix the price for a restaurant per month. Our business model is quite simple. We just buy a bunch of vegetables from farmers directly and sell to the restaurant. Restaurant orders through by our app, and we deliver it to their door. By skipping all the middlemen, we have lucrative profit margin, even though we put really competitive price for a restaurant, and also we increase income for the farmers. We increase our sales volume 10% plus every week on average at this moment, and we have more than 150 active restaurant customers right now. My big ask today is I would like to be connected with someone who really understands about vegetable supply chain and fresh supply chain in ASEAN. Thank you very much.
Right, Taku. So it sounds really nice, right? Reducing the cost for the restaurants as well as increase the revenue for the farmer. Can you actually be a little bit more specific about your ask? You said you want someone who understands the supply chain.
Sure. So basically, I understand deeply about supply chain problem in Vietnam, but I see there is a maybe slightly difference between each country. As we try to expand to another country for the future, I want to know each country what is the specific problem between farmer and restaurant.
Okay, so the operator of logistics or
No,
or
basically
data?
who is in the middle, and then what is the farmer selling price, and what is the restaurant where they buy from the vegetable usually, or something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next category, we also just have one entrant, and this is the consumer and industrial IoT category. May I invite Willow Moore from Singapore, represented by Lê Nguyen. Please.
Good evening. Are we all doing okay? Great. Could I have a show of hands? How many of us are homeowners? Do you own a house? Great. So I want you to think about it. If you have 100 or 1,000 of properties, how would you manage your assets? How do you restrict that access to only trusted members? Great. 100 or 1,000 of sites are normal for businesses in industry like telecommunications, where they store very critical assets. We work with a lot of businesses like this to make sure that we can help them secure their asset. So just last month, I met with Joe and his team who oversee 1,000 of assets. He lost $2 million of USD from theft and vandalism, yet he's not sure who's accountable. He doesn't know who has access to site, and especially who got the illegal duplicated keys. Now, this is not a problem this is not just a problem for telecommunications, but for any industry with distributed assets. So now using our solution, Joe and his team will be able to manage all the accesses in our solution online and real time. He will be able to manage the operations. He will be able to see who has the key, who accessed the site, why, at what time. All of this will be stored and analyzed in our solutions. How do we do that? We've switched all the mechanical locks with our smart locks, so then all the contractors and staff can request access using the mobile phone. And instantaneously, they will get what we call a virtual key. That means no more mechanical keys, no more duplications, therefore minimize the risk of unauthorized access. Not just that, in the future, we'll have more gateways and sensors. That means every remote site will have more data such as temperature, humidity, and temper alerts. So you can just sit in one office and you will know exactly what's going on. You can see there on the map, that's our deployment. We've been deploying our solution in Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, and the Philippines. There are thousands of them out there. My name is Lê, and I represent Willowmore, a Singapore company that we want to digitalize all the traditional accesses for enterprises. So here's our ask. If you manage 1,100 of sites, or you know anyone who does, I want to be in contact with them. If you also invest in B2B, and you see the pains in managing and monitoring all the distributed assets, I want to be in contact with you. Thank you.
You didn't allow the trumpet to actually sound there.
Yeah,
right?
I want to trick them.
Right. Okay, excellent. Have you actually have any customer already?
Yes, we deploy in Singapore, Thailand, the Philippines, and Indonesia.
Right.
Yeah.
And they are the multi-site
Yes.
type of enterprise?
Yes. So the industry like telecommunications, cash in transit, sorry. We also saw a lot of demands in banking, oil and gas. Basically, any industry with distributed assets, they face the same problem to manage, the right person to go to the site.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, the next category is fintech and blockchain, and we have one entrant from Infishta from Indonesia. Can I invite Andika Kushayadi to present his view, please?
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Andika. I'm from Invista Digital Indonesia, an aquaculture crowdfunding platform, and we are funded by you. Now, at first, I want to tell you what is aquaculture. Aquaculture basically is a cultivate of shrimp and fish in specific area within specific time to produce the fish and shrimp itself, and after the harvest time came, we sell it directly to the market to get the profit. And that is aquaculture. So let's back to the screen. If you see the man above me, this is a fish farmer in Indonesia. And I really know he has a very struggle life for business in aquaculture. Why? Because when I worked for 2 years in a very big aquaculture company in Indonesia, I realized there are a big gap between the company and the local fish farmer like him above us. The gap is the company is becoming rich with aquaculture business because they have enough capital, they have enough land to start aquaculture business. In the other side, the local fish farmer, he doesn't have enough capital, he doesn't have enough land to start an aquaculture business. So to solve the problem, we create Invista. So Invista is the platform who connecting the fish farmer, the landowner, and the people who want to invest in our project. And we give you an online experience of aquaculture. And when the harvest time came, we sell our fish and our shrimp to the market to get the profit, and we share our profit to the fish farmer, to the landowner, and also to the people who was invest before. Since we started 2 years ago, we already have 6,000 users in our website as people who invest in our project, and we already harvest more than 20 tons shrimp and fish with total revenue $200,000 with 25% take rate. It's coming from 10 projects and impact to 25 fish farmers. But we need to impact more fish farmers, 1 million fish farmers, not only in Indonesia, but also in ASEAN. So for that, we asked $300,000 with 20% equity tax, and it's still negotiable, to scale up our business, to hire more professional person, to make our website more trusted and more safe for investment. Thank you very much. Sorry, trumpetman.
Right. I think the next entrepreneur should allow the trumpeter to do their job a little bit. You're too precise. So, if I would be interested in investing in Invista, can you tell me what would be the expected return? Because I'm an investor, I invest in stock market and all that, right? And so, how would you compete with other investment choices? What would be your return?
Okay, so we offer in our website, in every project, we offer more than 25 return on investment, and we can compete to the other competitor for investment because in Indonesia, the aquaculture is a very competitive business, and many people who want to join in this business. So I think that's a 25%
return. That's what
yes, 25% return.
Wow. Okay, so maybe you find investors in here.
I hope.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next category is it's a large one. It's the business and consumer products and services. We have 9 entrepreneurs who enter in this category. May I introduce the first one, Data Q from Singapore, presented by Kun Ann Pichetapong.
The online shopping experience is terrible. The other day, I wanted to buy running shoes. After a long time browsing, I kept seeing electronics. It made me wonder, if more and more people are buying online, how can the experience be so disappointing? I'm Anne from DataQ. We deliver a one-to-one personalized experience to every visitor. We want to create a shopping experience that's personal, relevant, and most importantly, accessible to small and medium businesses. You must be thinking, personalization is not new. And you're right, but we are different because we address two gaps in the market. First, unlike existing solutions, we entirely focus on small and medium businesses, which no one else does. In fact, 70% of websites today do not have personalization at all. Second, when I said personalization, you must be thinking product carousels, people who bought X also bought Y, right? It's been around for ages. Isn't that really boring? To reach small and medium businesses, DataQ has built a plugin for the world's most popular e-commerce platforms like Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. By doing so, anyone can just download the plugin and start personalizing the website in under 15 minutes. No more waiting weeks or months. Our goal is to create a personalized experience that's complete. As you can see here, we even personalize the banners. With DataQ, I would see a website that reflects my interest in running shoes and related products. No more irrelevant experience. Now, does it work? Yes. Our clients have seen a 12% increase in revenue and 20% improvement in average order value. This translates to $1.5 million in additional revenue for our clients in just 6 months. E-commerce will be worth $1 trillion in 2022, 60% of which will come from small and medium businesses. They are the true backbone of our global commerce, and DataQ helps ensure that the success of global commerce is in the hands of many, not a few. That's why our pricing is fair. We charge a 2% commission only if we drive additional revenue for you. Not too long ago, I started DataQ in my living room while teaching myself how to code. Now we are a team of 5. And here comes the ask. If you have any contacts in marketing agencies, digital agencies, or e-commerce development companies, I would love to hear from you. TCC Technology, if you are in the audience, I would love to meet you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness, His Excellency, it's been a pleasure. Once again, I'm Anne, and this is DataQ. And can I end my pitch with the trumpets, please? Okay, that didn't work, but again, thank you.
Right. Thank you, Kun Ann. So your ask is very, very clear, just specific company, right? How have your company or your service been received in the market? You have actual customers already?
Yes, we have paying customers.
Right.
And
can you tell us how, what's your revenue or how many customers you have?
So we are running at $24,000 a year. Okay. So it's not a lot, but considering that we just started not too long ago, then but that's a long way to go.
And the customer is in Singapore?
Customers are mostly based in South America because that's where we started, and in the US, Canada, and in India. But we are looking for more clients in Asia, so please, if anyone knows anyone, that's why I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Good luck. So I think we are coming to about half of the program already. The team has asked me to actually get you to look at your mobile app because you will have to vote soon. And if anyone has any problem with your mobile app, please raise your hand so that the team will go and help you with your buttons and all the functions. Can you please? Okay, I see one hand there. Of someone who has a problem. Can someone go up there, please? Can you keep your hand up, please? Right. 2, 3. Please keep your hand up, those who have 4. One here as well. Do we have more team? Pitch Palace team, do you have more people? There's one person there as well. one there and one here. Sure. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. So while we're taking care of the app, I would like to remind you, please, that you will have 3 choices to vote after you hear all the 17 entrepreneurs. And you will probably need to do that rather quickly because I think we would have about 3 to 5 minutes for you. So please remember the names so that you can vote correctly. Also, beyond the votes that we get from here, we also would have the award for the People's Choice, and those are the votes that have been collected throughout the period since the application, and the vote there has already been closed since the beginning of the session. Right. For the person who actually win in this round, he or she would get to go to the UK and present his or her pitch at St. James Palace, if I remember correctly, on the 11th of December. Right. There's also one person here who has the issue with the app, and one person there as well, please. Right. Right. So we go on with the next entrepreneur. Yeah. Right. So the next. Right. The second entrant in the business and consumer products and services is Fly Spaces from the Philippines. And for that, I would like to introduce Peter Northcott, please.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Peter, and I'm from Fly Spaces, and our vision is to become the super app of commercial real estate. However, this wasn't always our vision. Back when we were founded in 2015 in the Philippines, we were more of a listing app for workspaces, for co-working spaces, and we were commonly referred to as an Airbnb for office space. But since then, behind 2 rounds of investment, we have grown now to a full end-to-end solution in 5 countries where we support businesses who are looking for workspaces, which is the demand side, and also we support landlords and property owners who have office space to rent on the supply side. We are one of the, if not the only regional platforms that is currently providing this end-to-end solution, and we are here to disrupt the commercial real estate industry. And you can probably see this disruption already across most Southeast Asian cities in Bangkok, with the growth and explosion of co-working spaces and serviced office providers such as WeWork and IWG, but also the growth of local champions such as JustCo and CoHive. And these currently represent only a small portion of the total leasable office space at only about 3%, but this is set to grow 10x to represent a market, addressable market of $30 billion in the next 10 years. And Fly Spaces is partnered with over 1,000 of these space operators. And 9 out of 10 of these operators are actually on the smaller side, not on the big scale. And we actually have a partnership team in all 5 countries on the ground that is providing support and value to these smaller space operators, since they don't have access to the necessary knowledge, to the technology, and to the marketing to help them thrive. So we help them compete in markets where they wouldn't have that opportunity necessarily. And we're doing the same thing on conventional office space. So these are the smaller units under 500 square meters, which may not be touched by the traditional brokers because they're simply too small. So there's a lack of supply coming to the market. And because of that, then you don't have visibility to potential tenants. There's a lack of transparency on the market. So people that may need that space, it's not there. So this is where the idea of a super app comes into play, because we support all areas of the market. We support increased supply, where we bring underserved supply to the market, but also on the demand side, we bring transparency where there wasn't before. And most of you in this room have probably seen the big sums of money being invested into co-working, into physical operators, hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars. But there's ways to be involved in this market which doesn't necessarily carry the risk of being exposed with physical assets. Thank you. So just the ask, I'm looking to be connected to regional property developers in Vietnam, Thailand, or Australia that can help us accelerate our geographic growth and product development. Thank you, and vote Fly Spaces.
Excellent. So that would have been my question, right? So who would be your competitor?
There's many competitors. A lot of them are local based, right? So when I said there's not only, we are one of the, if not the only regional platform, there are certain local companies that have a great platform for finding and booking workspaces, but there is no one doing the full end-to-end solution that we are doing. So while some of these brands that I listed before, we are partners with them, much like an Agoda would be with all the hotel brands. So currently, there are more local competitors than there are regional ones.
Right. So you're the Agoda for office space.
Yes, that is kind of like the old way, like I was saying, but now we are more a full stack solution.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. The next entrepreneur is from Malaysia, and the company name is called Host a Stay, represented by Jordan Un. Please welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jordan from Host a Stay. We founded our company just 2 years back in 2017. Within a short span of time, we have API integrated with Airbnb, Agoda, Booking.com, Expedia, and Ctrip. In Southeast Asia, we are the first company that has short stay insurance. Okay, we protect the guests, the host, and also your property from unwanted damages, theft, and we are working exclusively with Tune Protect. So why did we start this company? 3 reasons. The first thing, we want to generate better return for property investor. Why? Because I was a property investor myself. I bought a house. I couldn't generate the rent or sell the property at the price that I want. Putting on Airbnb, within the first month, I generate double the return. So, and it is very, very, very tiring because I need to clean the house, I need to pass the key, there's a lot of work to do. And I go online and couldn't find any platform that can help me to do that. In Southeast Asia, there are tons of it in the European country, and we see the opportunity, we founded Host a Stay. Secondly, the ASEAN travel industry has changed. 10 years ago, travel is for the rich because flying is very expensive. Thanks to Tan Sri Tony Fernandez, everyone can fly, right? And because of this, my mom last year traveled more than 200 days within a year, okay? And when you travel, if you're traveling in a group of 8 people, you need 4 hotel rooms, okay? And if you have the same price with a free living room, would you choose a short stay? Okay, so we are carrying home to guests, right? Then the third thing, Airbnb within ASEAN has grown 100%, is doubling every single year for the last 4 years. This has created a huge issue. For example, there is a lot of break-ins, there is tax losses, and a lot of different community issues. So the third thing that we created this platform is responsible tourism. We want to reduce price wars. We want to create a regulatory platform, a guideline, and a community for this new industry. So what is Host a Stay? If you look at the triangle there, we are the blue triangle. We are not the OTAs. We are not the property investor, and we are helping the property investor to generate better returns. We are helping the guests that you have a better stay. We are helping also the third party, for example, the cleaners, the insurance, renovation, and so forth. All right, so we generate all these data channels into our platform. We just launched our system this year, March, almost 6 months ago. And we have more than 7 million USD transactions through our platform with 2,000 paid customers. So what is our ask? We hope to have connection to the Ministry of Tourism within the ASEAN country, and we hope to bring better quality into ASEAN because Airbnb short stay is here. Basically 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I was in England. Bed and breakfast has been around. Airbnb is not a new industry. Thank you very much. I'm Jordan from Host a Stay.
You disappointed the band.
Yeah, I was on the dot.
Right. Okay. So basically, you're the complement as well as the competitor of Airbnb.
Not really. We really complement them. We took off the booking system from our platform. So our platform doesn't provide any booking. If you look at the first screen up there, basically it helps property investor to look for people to take care of your property. That's the main part, because everyone can put your property on Airbnb and do it yourself. If you want to make money from Airbnb, but you don't want to have the trouble and hassle of running it yourself, look for host stay.
And what do you do in a country where Airbnb is actually not legal?
We are working with the government, right? And it's the easy way out to actually ban it, but they also accept it that in the rural areas, Airbnb has been around for a long time. Okay, people are working in the rural areas, they have their houses, they let it out. So they are looking at a platform to actually regulate the whole system so that in the city areas, maybe you can have a ban. Some of the areas can have 180 days night cap. Some of the places you can have full on or even subsidies from the government. So we are working with the Malaysian government on this.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jordan.
Please vote for host stay.
Okay. Next entrant, Impact Explorer Cambodia, from Cambodia. May I invite Jitka Markova.
So the travel industry is changing. You might like it or not. We are slowly waking up to the realities of global warming, the impact of tourism on the environment, the issues of over-tourism and the impact of that on local communities. It's not only millennials anymore that are interested in sustainability. Today, 67% of travelers wanted to make more sustainable choices. They're looking at more local experiences. They want to know that what they do is connected to communities, the local culture, the local environment. And you might ask me, why am I telling you that? Why is it important? Why would you be interested? It's a big business. There is a lot of money to be made. Companies like TripAdvisor, Booking.com, Airbnb are trying to enter this market with their local experiences. However, they're a bit struggling because their approach, one size fits all, doesn't really work here. My name is Jitka, and I'm co-founder of Impact Explorer. We bring online local experiences with impact, and by doing so, we offer more sustainable choices for visitors. But at the same time, we improve lives of poor rural communities. So you wonder, how does this work? So meet the Tapan tribe in northeast of Cambodia. They're some of the poorest people in the country. They have low employment, they have low literacy levels, but they have been able to organize themselves to provide homestays and village tours for international visitors. Prior to working with Impact Explorers, they have no access to market. There was no way to book these experiences. Today, 20 families generate income through tourism. And part of the booking fee goes to community fund. And the villages themselves decide how the money is being used. So in this village, the most underprivileged children are supported to go to school through the community, through the trust, paying for their education, paying for their books and uniforms. Impact Explorer is a marketplace that's changing the face of tourism. It's easy to use. You go online, you search, you check reviews, and do instant booking. It changes life of communities, but it also brings amazing experiences to international visitors, once-in-a-lifetime experiences people have. We've been, over the last 8 months, working with 45 communities in Cambodia, and they together now offer over 100 impactful local experiences. We are in the process of onboarding our first communities in Laos and Myanmar, and we hope to grow it regionally. Our average booking at the moment is $45. However, yesterday, preparing this pitch, we had our first order, a single order of $500. And we can see that we're really confident this trend will continue. My ask today is, I would like to get connected with writer, travel journalist, and travel enthusiasts who are really interested. I almost made it. But basically, we would like to connect with people who are interested in sustainability and who are really interested in telling stories of these communities about social media influencers, because there are huge amounts of people who want to hear these stories. So let's connect today.
Thank you, Jitka. My question to you, I think it's linked to one of our entrants earlier. The social media and the digital marketing is very, very competitive. How do you plan to get your platform being known, to the tourists?
So In some ways, you would say there is a lot of competition to us, but actually there isn't. We're one of the very few platforms and startups that really look at social impact as the key driving force for a business. We not only just work with one family, with one individual, we work together with communities. And we can tell you today how much each dollar gets used within your bookings. And there's an increasing number of visitors and tourists, internationally and globally, who really want to have that accountability. They want to know what happens with the money when they book local experience.
Excellent. Thank you. Good luck. Right. The next entrepreneur is the only one from Brunei Darussalam, and her company is called Memory. Let me introduce Queenie Chong.
Hi. I would like to start by telling you this. There are two certainties in life. One is taxes, and another one is death. Unfortunately, we don't talk about this topic as much as we should. Without communications and understanding, it can be very stressful and lonely experience for the dying persons and their loved ones. This journey begins with the passing of my grandparents. During the wake, there is a dispute over funeral arrangements and distribution of wealth. As a result, we are not only losing our loved ones, we are also losing unity in the family. I know I'm not the only one facing this. After delving into the problem, we discovered that more than 60% of the people in the UK without a will. In ASEAN, of course, the figures are even higher, about 80%. In my country, Brunei, even worse, 98%. On top of that, we also have unclaimed money. But how about unclaimed insurance policy and assets? I'm Queenie, the CEO of Memory. We aim to disrupt the bereavement industry by providing accessible and affordable legacy planning solutions. We want to ensure that people leave their better legacy behind. We are the platforms that actually create conversation about end-of-life planning, and we offer online will writing and also storage of will and funeral e-commerce. So our targeted markets is about 15 million of people in Brunei, Singapore, and Malaysia without a will, but our total market is 1.65 million of people in Asia. We have already signed an MOU with funeral directors, insurance companies, and also lawyers to educate and cross-sell to generate leads. In Memory, we also have a very diverse backgrounds of team. Myself have 10 years of experience in funeral industry, and 3 of us are certified will planners. 2 of us have exited company before, but one thing we have in common is we all recently lost our loved ones. So I'm asking today to connect to life insurance companies, funeral directors, and also family lawyers in Southeast Asia, as well as the Commonwealth countries. It's never too early to start planning. We can't tell when we die, but we can say, how do we want to be remembered? I'm Queenie. I'm here. I hope to plan your legacy with you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Queenie. My question is around your marketing, right? I think death is something that people don't want to talk about, and it's, as you said, there are a lot of people who haven't thought about it. So how would you go about and get people to start thinking about this?
I love
and change
answering.
their behavior.
Yeah, I love answering this question. I got asked almost all the time. So if you look at my slide just now, right, I try to break the taboo, So by asking a lot of provoking questions, I even held workshops, like funeral workshops in my co-working space. And guess what? The tickets sold out in a few hours, and the attendance attendees are millennials. So people think that millennials don't talk about it, but in fact, they know it's at the back of the mind. They are worried for their parents or their loved one, and they want to be involved. So let me just give you a question for you to think about, right? Instead of like asking you, hey, what song you want to play on your funeral? I will ask you, when you were sick, right? What is that song that you want to play? And that song is your funeral song.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, we talked about death, and now we will talk about living, right? The next entrant, the next entrepreneur, he's from Modern Lao Homes, right, from Laos, and his name is Benjamin Su. He will talk about living, right?
Well, that was quite an introduction. Good evening, Modern Lao Homes, proudly representing Laos. I'd like to start by using a real-life example of Noi. See, Noi is a fresh graduate from Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos. She got a job working as an office staff in a firm and gets about $500 a month. The rent for a basic studio apartment in Laos, on average, can range anywhere from $200 to $500 a month. And because rent is so expensive, her parents suggested that she lives with them forever. Now, this sounds funny, but in truth, this is the reality for young people in Laos and for some 380 million young people under the age of 35 living in ASEAN. Our vision at Modern Lao Homes is to give a platform for people like Noi to be in a position to be a young and a proud homeowner. How? Through 3D printed homes. 3D printed homes cost a fraction of the amount it takes to build a house through conventional methods and significantly reduce construction waste up to about as high as 60%, greatly reducing the huge carbon footprint the construction industry already has in the world. Let's compare and contrast, shall we? A 3D printed home the size of a studio apartment, or about 50 square meters, if you will cost Noi less than $8,000. Building in the traditional way will cost $20,000. With 3D printing, it takes 2 employees and only a few days. Traditionally, however, it takes 15 employees and about a month. I know you're probably thinking, is it durable? Is it made to last? The answer is, of course, yes. It is engineered to be as strong, if not stronger, than concrete block-built houses. We would know because for the past 3 years, since we've started our construction startup, we've helped build houses in Laos for clients using the conventional methods, with our total project value amassing a couple of $1 million in just 3 years. It is good money, honestly, and a good business to be in. But we are setting our eyes on the future of housing, and that is to make it affordable and environmentally conscious. Can you imagine what a community of 3D printed houses can do? Equipped with renewable energy and a co-farming space, the community could be carbon neutral in 3 to 5 years. I'd like to echo the great Tony Fernandez in his tagline for AirAsia that goes, "Now everyone can fly." In Modern Lao Homes, we want to claim now everyone can build a home. Trumpets, please. Don't fail me now.
That's satisfying for you, right, to hear the trumpet? Yes, okay, excellent. So one question for you. How big can your 3D printing or 3D printed home be? Can it be a multi-story apartment, or it's only single home, small?
At the current moment, the technology is still bleeding edge. It's still being discovered, it's still breaking frontiers. And at the moment, the highest you can build is 2-story, which arguably is because of building materials and things like that, which leads me to also my ask, which I've not been able to. So my ask, here's my ask. We'd like to meet the future-minded founders of real estate developers in ASEAN, such as Sunway Group Malaysia. I love what they're doing, and also cement manufacturers like SCG and YTL to revolutionize building materials like concrete to make it even more sustainable and environmentally friendly for the future of housing. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Right, we have 3 more in the category of business and consumer products. The next one is Maikuya from the Philippines. Let me introduce Shahab Shabibi.
Good evening, everyone. All right, so I'm here to talk to you about the future of work. Who here considers themselves to be participating in our on-demand economy? Can you raise your hands? Wow, very few. Who here even knows what on-demand economy is about? A little bit more, but still fewer. Now, who here in their business relies on people? Almost everyone. So I'm going to talk to you about how this change is going to impact your business. We are Maikuya. We are an on-demand labor and services platform. By 2055, 60% of the world's workforce is expected to be on demand. 60%. More than majority of the jobs will be on demand in less than 40 years. Today, this number is at 0.5%. These are your drivers, these are your delivery people, these are the people who bring the products to you. But the truth is, the impact is going to be much bigger. These are the first industries that are going through this disruptive change. So what we do is we go to traditional businesses that provide services, and overnight, we take a traditional business to be fully on demand. So whether you provide massage services, you provide staffing solutions, you provide any of these different types of services, overnight you could be on demand. Now, what's interesting is that before me, there were a couple of entrepreneurs who were telling us about their platforms connecting a certain audience to a certain audience. There was one that connects pilots for drones. There were ones that connect farmers to people who can provide funding. So ultimately, our technology enables businesses across industries to provide that. Because we saw no matter what industry is it about, whether it's ride sharing, whether it's logistics, ultimately the technology that's needed is very much the same. You need to connect supply to demand. You need to connect people to what they want. People expect businesses to be on demand. But it doesn't make sense to have so many apps on your phone. So our theory is one app to rule them all. And all companies that provide solutions can go and provide their services on our platform. This is what Maikuya is about. We are in the Philippines, and our goal is to create 1 million jobs there. We chose Philippines because it's a labor economy, but we believe the change is going to be global. And this is what we are going to prepare ourselves for. To wrap it up, my ask is, if you or someone you know uses or provides labor in the scale of thousands, we believe that we should be talking right now, because someone else is going to do it before you. Thank you.
Excellent. I think I would agree that, even though the audience doesn't actually work in the, on-demand market, but I think that would change very quickly. So how do you plan to deal with all the legal side of it? Because I think if you look at Uber, right, that's in America, there's a lot of debate whether Uber is really a job or not, and whether the workers are protected by the labor law and so on. So have you thought about this?
Yeah, actually, when you look at Uber's business model, you realize they are dealing with drivers on a direct basis. So it's no surprise to be expected of them to provide benefits to their labor pool. We work with businesses that have those people. We do not engage with the individuals directly, so it's businesses that are providing the solutions. And in fact, most of the companies that have chosen to use our platform are actually employing their people. They are just reinventing their business model and they're supercharging their business.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. The next entrepreneur is called Recyclo from Myanmar. May I invite Oka Pyomung, please?
Hi, my name is Oka. I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer of Recyclo. We are a waste management recycling platform that connects with logistic players, as well as recycling technologies and factories around the world. So I'd like to start with 2 questions for the audience. Who here recycle at home? A few recycle at home. Who does the waste segregation before you throw the waste to the waste pickup? Less, very few. Okay, so recycling and waste management it's a big issue, especially in developing countries, especially in Southeast Asia. We're not doing waste management enough. We're not doing recycling enough to support the circular economy, cradle-to-cradle solutions. 15 out of 20 most polluted rivers globally, they are in Asia. We are treating our rivers as a trash cans, and they are polluting our oceans and destroying the livestock. We are here to solve the problem with the mission to create a closed-loop circular economy. So we provide the logistic solutions to transport from point A to point B, and we connect with the facility that can recycle almost everything. So we recycle from typical waste like plastic, can, paper, to more hazardous waste, dangerous waste, such as e-waste, chemical waste, and organic waste. And we turn them into a useful product materials that can be used back for the ecosystems. We work with big clients like Coca-Cola's, Pepsi, Panasonic, H&M. We also work with very small SME. Our portfolio consists of 70% SME, and we are growing very fast with 3-digit month-over-month growth rate. We are a Myanmar company based in Myanmar, and we have a regional presence in Malaysia and Singapore, and we are planning to expand to Indonesia next year. Our business model is proven business model. We have 20,000 monthly recurring revenue, and our expected revenue projection for this year is $250,000 USD. So what we do is we provide facility for them to segregate. So our smart bin will do the job of data collections, and we provide data for the businesses and for the individual household to see and to visualize data to have a proper policies. So I'm now asking the audience for a team of legal, financial, technical advisor to help us to expand our company and business in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia needs your help. Even in Thailand has less than 20% of recycling rate. Even in the developed country, you have less than 50% of the waste are recycled. We can change that. We need your help to do that. Please feel free to message me in the chat box. I'll be happy to talk to you after the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oka. Very interesting topic. May I actually ask you to say your ask again very clearly? Because I think they're a little bit, really talking about, writing me on the chat box and so on. But if one thing you would like to ask in this audience, what would that be?
In Malaysia, in Myanmar, in Singapore, we work with big key client account. All the company, big business clients, they need a financial auditor. So we are your sustainability data auditor. So if you are a big company in Thailand, in Southeast Asia, we can help to reduce your carbon footprint. We can also be your sustainability auditor, and we can actually make that happen for integrated sustainability reporting together with the annual report.
Right. So your help is to become your customer.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Right. The last entrepreneur in the business and consumer product and services is called Take Me Tour from Thailand. May I introduce Kuntaro Jinda Apirak.
Sawadee krap. Hi everyone.
My name is Taro, co-founder of Take Me Tour. A show of hands if you have foreigner friends. Come on, I can be your friends. Imagine when they're coming to your country and they ask you to show them around. Of course, you would love to show them around local favorite places where most travelers probably wouldn't have heard about that. Think about the other travelers who didn't know anyone. There are more than 100 million travelers coming to Southeast Asia every single year. And I'm pretty sure that for them, looking for local experiences is actually very difficult and challenging, especially in a country where they don't speak the language. And Take Me Tour would like to solve the problem for them. Once again, Take Me Tour is the largest marketplace for local tours in Thailand and expanding to Southeast Asia. We connect travelers who are looking for local experiences with the local people who will host and show them around their own neighborhood. I would like to call them the local expert. Let's meet one of them, Mike. Mike's a government officer. He works 5 days a week. On the weekend, he actually loves to show travelers around his home. And more importantly, he brings them to his home, meet with his grandma, who used to be a very excellent chef. And his grandma would teach them how to make pad thai. How awesome is that? And it's just one small example of the local expert among 25,000 of them in 65 cities across Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, and Indonesia at the moment. Some people may have asked, is it safe to do this? That's why we put security as our priority. We actually have been going through a very strict verification system, ID card, phone number, bank account, including criminal records. On top of that, we actually offer an accident insurance for every booking, free of charge. And above all, the review system will be the one who ensure the qualities of the experience. As a result, we have achieved 98% customer satisfactions from 10 of thousands customers from 100 different countries in the past 4 years. Tourism is very interesting and at the same time, very challenging industry. That's why we have been working with tourism authorities of Thailand as an example to bring this kind of concept to spread the local tourism abroad. We actually would love to work more, actually come to my ask. I actually would love to get in touch, get in contact with the airlines like Air Asia, for example, and Agoda and OTAs. Because I know that eventually all the big OTA actually would like to offer everything from flight, accommodations, and in-destination activities. With our huge supply, we could ultimately reduce the time to market for you, and we probably be the game changer and help you win the race. And if you want to take one thing from my talk today, I actually would like to tell you, do not believe me yet. Since you are in Thailand, I would love to invite all of you to try Take Me Tour and tell your friends if you like it. One last thing before the trumpet. Actually, don't forget. Last thing is that I know Taro. That's promo code. Thank you.
Excellent, Kuntaro. So you said you've been around for 4 years now, right? What is your current coverage, and also what's your target in the next few years?
So right now, our majority of tour offering in Thailand, actually we cover 55 cities in Thailand at the moment. We're actually the largest one. So we have a couple of trials in Southeast Asia, but my goals in probably next couple of years is to have the wide coverage throughout Southeast Asia. And we really believe that through local experiences, we can change the way people travel. Hope everyone join me. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent, thank you. So that was the last entrepreneur in the business and consumer product and services. Our very last entrepreneur, but not least, is in the health, fitness, and medical technology. And the company is called BookDoc from Malaysia. May I invite Chevy Bay, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to share with you guys how I founded a company. So in healthcare, right, when you want to seek a doctor, you want information, you want who is the best doctor, etc., it's very daunting experience versus you look for hotel, accommodation, you can go to the TripAdvisor, Agoda, but in health, there's no such thing. So that's how I came up with BookDoc. And today, BookDoc, we are in 5 countries and 20 cities. Last month, we celebrated our 4th year anniversary. So we currently have 40,000 healthcare providers on our platform. And what makes us different, we actually verified with all the Ministry of Health of every country, because there are a lot of doctors that attend like certain weekend calls. They call themselves a specialist, which is very misleading. So we actually verify if they're just a GP, they're not a doctor, they could not be on a platform. That's how we started. And subsequently, we think of the patient journey, right? So number one, how you find doctor. Number two, how do you get there? So we also integrate with Uber and Grab 2 years ago, where the car will come to you, pick you up from where you are to see the doctor. And three, we're talking a lot about medical tourism, right? So we also partner with Agoda and Airbnb to also tell you where the nearest hotel accommodation and also whether they're disabled friendly or not. And also with TripAdvisor, where you want to do tourist sites, then you go into the platform. So we started with a B2C, and subsequently B2B, we work with a lot of corporate companies where there are panel doctors using insurance, using TPA to manage their employee. And it's always PDF, handbook, it's not user-friendly. So now we can bespoke on our app. That's how we started. And the second feature is active, right? So a lot of people today, they wear wearable watches from Apple, Fitbit, Garmin, and even your smartphone will track how you move. And a lot of people wear that just to show people like they care about the health, they're health conscious, and some of them, they connect with friends and family, and they will compete and say, hey, weekend I do so much, you do so little. And it just give them what you call bragging rights, right? So today we put into the platform where we actually can connect to all wearables, and you don't necessarily need to buy the same device. And we also thought of incentivizing people, right? So basically, once they hit a tier, so the more rewards the more they exercise, the more rewards they get. So today we have 3,000 offline location. They can go and redeem their rewards online and offline in 12 countries. And subsequently, we have marketplaces like e-commerce. You can buy a few thousand health screening, dental, TCM, wearables, etc. And teleconsult, we talk about people not only having the problem of finding doctor, exercising. So it's not how much you put into your body, how much you eat, it's also how much you exercise and how you improve. So we have a team of nutritionists, dietitians to also tell you how to improve. And another big thing they talk about today is mental health, sexual health, right? You can also reach out, and certain things are very sensitive. If you are a known public figure, you're a big CEO, so what you need to do is basically to put in there, you can be anonymous. So my wish list is basically this, to work out. We service tons of companies, Fortune 500 companies, etc. And the wish list is to connect with companies who care about, Got it. So basically to connect with companies who are interested to reduce healthcare costs, digitize the whole health process, and improve productivity of staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Chevy. Just one question. What is your business model? How do you make money? Is it a membership base, or what is it? Because you actually offer a lot of services.
So the B2C is free, but the B2B, that's how we monetize, so managing the employee well-being, cost, monitoring, etc.
So the employer side, right? How about the service providers, the hospital and the doctors?
So we work a lot with insurance companies, the likes of AXA, Prudential, etc. And we also gamify, so we keep the healthcare costs lower. They make more profit because they pay out less claim, because if the policyholders are more healthy, right?
Okay, so you charge the companies. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. So that's the end of our 17 pitches. And now we are entering the very important time, which is the voting time for you. So please get on to your mobile app, right? And think about your top 3 entrepreneurs that you have heard tonight. And you will have only about 3 minutes to do so. So before we do that, may I see the hands of the people who still have issues with your mobile app, please? And the team will go and help you solve that. So we see 2 people there. Okay. 1 more. You as well. 4. Here. 2 in front. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we can start voting now? Okay. But we would have a little bit more than 3 minutes, is that right? So for those of you who already voted, you can watch the video meanwhile. So your time for voting is up. And thank you for the trumpeters from the Thai brass, Thai youth brass. Thank you very much. I think His Royal Highness is still working out the results. So it's the exciting time indeed, the entrepreneurs. So first of all, thank you very much for the audience for having voted and given all your full attention. I saw a lot of note-taking, and people were really, trying to work out their mobile app to really send in their answers. So that's great to see. And as we said, beyond the winning, we would love to actually get all your support to help the entrepreneurs here in any way you can before one of them would go to the UK. So I think now we have the results ready. Right, and here, His Royal Highness, the Duke of York.
The great thing about being a founder is you can change the rules as you like them. I'm not a judge, as you may well realise, but I have to say that I would just like to first of all pay a huge debt of thanks to our entrepreneurs who have done the most outstanding performance this afternoon or this evening. I saw them yesterday, and the improvement from what they performed yesterday to today is like day and night. So I would just like to say thank you very, very much indeed to all of you for the amount of time. I would also like to thank not only our audience for what you have contributed this evening, but also for what you will contribute in the networking session, but also to say that we can't put these events on and do the things that we do without a huge team of people who are incredibly well versed in how to put these events on. So thank you to not only my pitch team, but also to the Gen team who have been outstanding, and it's a pleasure to work with you, so thank you very much indeed, Steve. I alluded to the fact that, that I've changed the rules. The decision was originally that we were going to take one entrepreneur to London. I've just been allowed to take two to London. So what we've got here is that, as you're probably aware, we have a People's Choice Award, which is use of the internet and social media to vote for them. I'm afraid to say that So Min didn't actually win the People's Choice Award, which I was expecting them to do. However, the People's Choice Award for ASEAN 2.0 is Host to Stay, so congratulations to Host to Stay. If you just hang on there for a second, I'll come and get you, you can come up here in a moment. In third place, a very honourable third place is Modern Lao Homes. And one of the reasons why we've ended up with two rather than one is that these two were considerably further ahead than all the others. And so in second place from Brunei is Memori. And our winner this evening is Take Me Tour. So if you'd now like to come and join us up here, all four of you. And just finally to say to all of you, thank you for all the time that you have spent, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with ASEAN, and I hope that this time next year we will be doing the similar thing, but with the hosts of the ASEAN Business Conference next year, which I believe is in Vietnam. So thank you all very much indeed, and we'll now have a photograph. Move that way, so you can get a photograph of all our winners. I think we'll work out where the press corps are. Everybody. Good stuff. Thank you all very much indeed.
Your Highness. And actually at this time, before all of us go out, may I invite Kun Thapana Sirivatanapakdi, Group CEO of the Thai Beverage Group, to give the bouquets to the winners before we all go up later to the 8th floor for the networking reception. May I invite the two winners who would go to the UK, Memori and Take Me Tour. Right, congratulations to the winner, and well done to all of the entrepreneurs here at the Pitch Palace. And as Pitch Palace program is not about winning, but all about making the right connections, may we actually invite everyone upstairs to the 8th floor for the networking reception, please. And for those of you who may not know how to get there, there will be the staff wearing the Pitch Palace t-shirt who will guide you up there. Thank you. See you up there.